Motives Menaces, we are back with another video, and in today's video we're going to be talking about how God doesn't want fake love. You see, a lot of people think they could trick God, they could trick Jesus into blessing them, but you see, God doesn't judge by your outward appearance. He judges you by your heart. So don't think that you could trick God into thinking that he can give you blessings, because that's not how it's going to work, right? That's only going to show how foolish you are for your desires. And you see, a lot of people think that they could just fake their love towards God so that they could receive blessings. But this just shows your true character, right? Because to really get blessings from God, to be blessed by God, you have to be humble before him. And so you can't be humble if you're going to try to manipulate God into thinking that you are a good person, right? Because we're not saved by our works, but by the grace of God and by faith. That is when we're saved. That is when we get the gift of eternal life. And you see, if you truly love someone, you would spend time with them. You would give everything to them, right? Because the most valuable thing in this world is not money, it's time. You could ask any billionaire that, they will tell you that time is more valuable than money. So when you give up your time for God, this is going to show that you actually care about him, that you actually want to spend time with him. But if you're only giving 1 minute of your day, it's crazy, because right now I've been in that little work cycle, and it's crazy because I myself even find myself, I'm aware of Jesus, I'm aware of God's existence, and I still find myself struggling to spend time with him, because it's like the days go by like that. It's like I'm teleporting into bed just like that, and I'm like, dang, these days are going by fast, and I can't even get a word in with the Lord without my flesh being tired. And so you got to really spend time with him, because this is where it's going to show your obedience towards him. This is where you're going to show that you actually want to spend time with him, that you actually care for him. Because if you had a lover, right, if you had a partner, and you told them that you love them, right, they're going to say, prove it to me, show it to me, show me that you love me. And so you can't obviously buy your way towards love, right, because that's just foolish, right? You can't buy love. Love only comes from actual spending time, actual building relationship. There's no money in this earth that you can buy love with, right? You can't force anyone to love anyone else, right? So things, money, it can bring temporary happiness, but it's not going to bring that love. It's not going to really fuel that love for your partner. It's not going to really keep that love connected. And so you got to spend time with him. And you see, I want to go with a quick verse right here. I got it written down. I'm sorry, I got to memorize these verses. But James 2:16, one of you says to them, go in peace and be warm and filled, but you don't give them the things they need for their body. So what good is that? Basically meaning that if you tell someone that you love them, right, but you don't do anything to show your love towards them, then your love is as good as nothing. You're not actually building that love. You could tell anyone, okay, be warm, be full of food and never hunger again, right? But if you don't actually give them the blanket, the food they need in order to feel that way, then it's as good as nothing. So right now you may be saying, oh, I love the Lord, but your words may be empty. You may not even realize, but you're just spewing empty words, because the next day you go back into that sin. You go back into your worldly ways. You go to church on Sunday, but the next day you give back into temptation. You give into that lust and carelessly bust. And so God is looking at you like, dang, how can I bless this person if I know he's going to fail the next day? So you got to really put yourself to the test. You really got to put everything on the line. I'm going to keep it up. This is not a game. You think that you could just be good one day, you could not sin for one day and go back into your worldly ways and sin the next day. That's not how it's gonna work. This is a lifestyle, just like NoFap. It's a lifestyle. You don't just do it for 1 month like NNN. No, my boy, this is literally a lifestyle that you gotta live by, because every single day that is going by is a test to prove to yourself, to God, that you're worthy. And so I got another verse right here, James 4:17. It is a sin to know what you need to do and not to do it. If you know the right thing to do and don't do it, that for you is evil. Basically meaning that if you know what you have to do to get right with God, like you know what you're doing is a sin, but you still continue to willfully sin, knowing that you're sinning, that's evil, my boy. That's literally a sin in itself. Because right now you know what you have to do. You know the right thing to do, but you're not actually going out your way to do it. And so how can God reward you? How can God bless you if you're not actually going out your way for him? Because, oh, you go out your way for the enemy, right? You go out your way to party, to drink, to smoke, to give into that temptation. You'll give any time, you'll give any part of your day just to do these things. But when it comes to God, oh, suddenly it's hard. Suddenly now you don't have enough time to do it, right? Like, it's so crazy how many excuses we make on a day-to-day basis. But when it comes to the judgment day, what excuse can you have, right? Because you're going to say, oh God, I did all these wonderful works. I saved 1,000 puppies. But you're still going to be condemned because you never actually got right with him. Because right now you're relying on your works to actually build that, like, to have that relationship, right? But it's not by the works, but by faith. But you see, this is the very confusing thing, is that faith without works is dead. Meaning that your faith without taking action, I rebuke that. Faith without taking action towards your faith is as good as dead as well, right? Because you can say all your life that you believe in Jesus, right? But even the demons believe and they tremble. So you got to actually go out your way and follow him. You got to actually make the time for him. I don't care if it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes a day, whatever it may be. But don't go by day to day just saying you want to get right with him and then never do that, right? And I find myself struggling with that too. Like, I'm gonna keep it a buck. Like, I'm not perfect. I'm not some perfect Christian self-improvement YouTuber. Like, I have my fair share of struggles, but that's what makes it worth it, right? Because he chastens us. He makes us go through these things, these trials, these tribulations, and he makes us suffer. And you may be saying, whoa, motives. I thought God was all love. Well, yes, but through that suffering is also love, right? It's just like, you know, a parent with his kid, right? He'll make him go through those tribulations. He's gonna teach him what's wrong from right. And obviously he's not gonna like it, right? Like, obviously if you take away a piece of candy from a kid, he's not gonna like it at the very moment, right? But later on down the line, he's gonna know that you were actually saving his health. So now that he's actually healthy, instead of eating all those Hershey Kisses, he can now actually do an Aaron Yeager workout. But if you continue to give him those sweets, he would have been spoiled. He would have had type 69 diabetes. He would have looked like EDP 447. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, God, he makes us suffer in certain moments. Like, you may not realize what he's doing now, but you will realize later. So, yeah. I got another thing right here. Yeah, faith without works. You know, all that. So, I guess to conclude is that if your partner, right, like the best, the most, biggest relationship, right, is with the Most High. If he were to say, show me your love, how would you show it? Because right now you're not really showing it. Like, you're saying it, but you're not really showing it. You're not really proving it. You're not really taking action towards that love that you're supposedly saying. So start taking action towards that love, because God, he doesn't want fake love. He wants real love. He wants you to soften your heart, not harden it. And this is where you could get closer and build your relationship with him. But anyways, I hope you guys did enjoy today's video. Stay blessed, stay wealthy, rebuke the kingdom of darkness, and embrace the kingdom of righteousness. And remember to keep surpassing your limits, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.